Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for our Game Week 33 preview show. I'm Chris, and with me is, as always, the other half of the FPL Cougars team, Kieran. Good evening, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. Lots to talk about tonight, and I'm looking forward to getting stuck into some fantasy chit-chat. So we've just come off the back of double Game Week 32. I'm going to be looking ahead to a blank Game Week 33 tonight. We're going to see what's been happening in the FPL Cougars mini-league. We're going to wrap up the Cougar Cup picks. Then we're going to just take each fixture as it comes this week and analyse all the players and the teams that are taking part. So I think we're going to jump straight into it tonight, and we're going to have a look back at our double game week scores and see how we got on. So Kieran, do you want to take the lead? Because you played your free hit. How did you find it?
It was a kind of excruciatingly difficult week, I think. I mean, overall I got 91, which was decent in the end. Well above average of the 73, but top 10k was 90, basically average. So I kind of didn't really gain much. I went up by like 8k. So I mean, that's all right. It's a green arrow, but it's not much of one on a free hit when you're scoring 91, and there's scores of like 120 plus out there. So a bit of a shame. So most of my picks were quite good. I had Montoya and Sterling and Aguero not play the second game, and then Young played both, which I thought he was possibly a risk for at least one of them. And then obviously he went and got his red card, absolute donut. And Pogba just useless, isn't he now? He looks like he's just on the beach.
Yeah.
He's done. He's done for this season.
Thoughts are in Madrid,
he might be
aren't
out of my team. Yeah, well, yeah, might be. Pogba's probably going to go out my team. All of United crap. Should have just kept Rashford in my normal team. Went for Kane.
Kane was your big conundrum, wasn't he? Because, I mean, probably on this last time we did the show, which was a couple days before the game week was going to come around, you didn't have Kane, you had Rashford, and you had quite a different squad.
I had Higuain as well.
Yeah, you did. Oh, yeah, that's another.
It was a plus point. I got 2 more points than Higuain did. So
what was the main reasoning behind bringing Kane in?
New stadium, really. And he's got a good record against Liverpool, and I thought they would smash Palace out of the park in the new stadium because it just looks like a great place to play football, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That was my thoughts, and I just thought, why not? If he's going to be a differential on a free hit in a double game week, why not? So didn't turn out very good, but never mind. Went with Laporte. Obviously, I was considering the triple City attack, and David Silva was the one, and he also got benched in the second game. So I went for Laporte, and he obviously got 2 clean sheets and assist, and double game week hero with Hazard getting 15 and then Millie with 11. So decent enough, I suppose. But shame about Young, Montoya, and Sterling.
Yeah,
and
though we were talking, weren't we, on Friday about Young and Montoya, because they were the sort of players bringing in to really enable Kane when you switched your squad around. So it's irritating from that point of view that even the enablers had just such poor game weeks as well as Kane. Because those 3 positions in your free hit squad feel like they let you down compared to the rest of it, really.
Yeah, I mean, Montoya hit the bar in that first game. So imagine if he scored. That would have been incredible because he had such low ownership as well.
Yeah.
So never mind. All good.
It's one of those things. So I didn't have my free hit to play, as everyone knows, because I played it in game week 25 or 26, and I got a bit of grief for it in the chat. But I played my triple captaincy chip, and I was pleased with it. So I placed it on Aguero. I only made 2 transfers, so I took a -4 to take out Salah for Sterling. Sterling obviously came in and ended up scoring less than Salah, so that was a bit of a downer. But actually, the other move was to take out Doherty, who did, of course, have a double game week. But I didn't fancy him playing both games, basically. And then I also thought he's going to miss out in 34. So 33. So what player can I bring in that's definitely going to play both 32 games and play 33? So Azpilicueta was my choice from the Chelsea backline, and I just couldn't believe it that he got a goal in the first game. That offside by a mile.
Yeah, his second goal all season, or first goal all season, and then he gets it in a double game week when everyone gets on him. Just like,
it's crazy.
Seriously,
it's crazy. So the reason I was talking on the show last week about Laporte, because he was really close. It was either going to be Laporte or Azpilicueta. So I think I missed out by 2 points, but the thing that swung it was because I wasn't on a free hit. I didn't want to bring Laporte in for the 2 games and then have to take him potentially out again to field a full squad for 33. So I think it's worked out in that respect. So I was pretty pleased with Aspilicueta, really. Big score. So I ended up on 103. Jimenez, basically all my single game week players came in, apart from Fraser. So Vardy scored me points, Pereira scored me points, Robertson scored me points. I had Trent come in for Felipe Anderson, who I said last week on the show was going to score loads of goals, and he didn't even play, and West Ham lost pitifully. So, yeah, all in all, it was a pretty decent game week. Jimenez, so I rose in rank quite a bit. I was down in 140 after my massive sort of like 10 game week slide, and about up to 111k now. So, yeah, back going in the right direction with my wild card. You've got your wild card as well, haven't you?
Yep.
Bench boost still to play. So I think a lot of our talk over tonight's show and next week's for sure will be about our wild cards, because I think our plan's pretty much the same, and that we're going to wild card ahead of game week 34 and bench boost in the next big double in game week 35.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
Yeah, I think a lot of our plans are going to sort of be tailored towards that. But don't worry, guys, because tonight and in the next week's show, we're going to be picking out the ones that are essential for those of you who are perhaps playing your free hits and are looking to wildcard that game week too. But before we get into that, let's wrap up the FPL Cougars mini league. Shout out to, well, quite a number of you really, because a lot of you scored more than 100. But the biggest score was by Usman Shah. I've been trying to pronounce that all afternoon, and he scored a whopping 137, so well done. He played his triple captaincy on Aguero. He had Jimmy, Bernardo Silva, Hazard, Van Aanholt, Aspilicueta and Laporte. So huge points, and yeah, really well done to him. I think he's up to about 30-odd thousand in the world now. It's like a 25 or 30k jump, something like that. So yeah, very well done.
Nice.
Yeah, very good. Do you want to pick up the Cougar Cub picks, Keek, and say how you and I got on?
So yeah, we both couldn't remember what I picked, but I ended up picking up Zaha. So he scored or assisted in the first game. I can't remember what it was.
I think he got two assists. Yeah,
he got two assists. Okay. So yeah, he ended up on 10 points altogether. So yeah, decent enough, I suppose. Blanking in the Tottenham game, but never mind. And then you picked Laporte, which was pretty good for you with his nice 18 points there. So yeah. So no, my total is 27 points. And you're on a massive 40. Whoa. So yeah, you're taking a big lead now. So 13 points up on me.
Is there money on the line in this?
Oh, 1 penny maybe.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I've got to do work to get back up there now. Just like you've got to do work in the mini league. So yeah, I'm still above you in mini league, so that's fine.
Yeah. It's getting nice and close. But,
it is.
But we're behind a heck of a lot of people.
Yeah,
a heck of a lot of people. Cool. All right, so let's get into fixture by fixture for this week. So the game week actually kicks off tomorrow night. So we're recording this Thursday. Kicks off Friday night, so don't miss the deadline. It starts with Southampton against Liverpool. We've both got a fair amount of coverage. You've got 3 players. Yep. I've got 2 after I sold Salah last week. So you feeling confident about Liverpool winning this one?
Yeah, I think so. It's pretty much... I can only see a Liverpool win and a clean sheet here. I just can't see Southampton having enough to get a goal against Liverpool, who are just so tight and solid, aren't they? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, just 3 Liverpool, pretty much essential from here until the end of the season, I guess. And whether it's double defense instead of Salah, maybe who's still not firing, then great. But Mane didn't look great against it was Tottenham, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He didn't look great. Salah didn't look great either, but claimed that assist in the end. Hopefully that gives him a little bit of confidence to do well in the next few. Like he had that interview with Sky or something, didn't he say? He's like, oh yeah, Aguero's only 2 goals ahead of me, but he's having the best season of his life and I'm having my worst or something. And it's just, yeah. I hope he can do well this weekend, and there's the fixture of him to do it. So, yeah, I'm in for more misery, I think, with captain on Salah.
That makes me think he's such like a selfish player. Like, I didn't really think that before. Like, I know he has a lot of shots, and it does look like sometimes he doesn't pass to Mane when he's a better position. But to come actually out and say that, I thought was really unusual, because you don't really get that sort of thing. Like, fair enough, you might say players, or have players say, oh, I'm aiming, or it would be great to win, sort of like the Golden Boot at the end of the season, but not really sort of name drop another player.
Yeah.
And that's quite an unusual thing. So yeah, it does make me think that he's a bit desperate for goals, and it did look like that, didn't it, against Spurs? Because I think he had like maybe like 4 or 5 shots where he was just shooting from really poor positions.
It was quite evident as well that he wasn't passing in situations where he should have to like Mane or Firmino or whatever. Like there was times where he could have got a clear assist to one of them, and he was just desperate to shoot and score, or just selfishly, like you say. Strange.
Do you think Klopp could? I mean, it sounds crazy to say, but do you think Klopp could drop him, or we've seen him even like sort of bring him off early in games this season, which we weren't accustomed to last season. Do you think the sort of the lack of the team ethic there is going to hurt him from a fantasy point of view?
No, I think Klopp will probably take it as in that he wants to be scoring goals. He's always looking for the goal, so that's probably a good thing. If you've got a selfish striker, it's not bad really, unless he's making clear and obvious mistakes where he could be putting in Mane, and I don't know. I don't think he'll be dropped, to be honest.
I sort of thought that about Kane last evening. Like it seemed to me he had a ton of shots last night. I think it was like 7 or 8 shots in the game, and from the extended highlights I watched, it looked like there was opportunities to play in people, and some of them he was just ballooning over the bar, and it was quite similar to Salah. But yeah, he's just is a rotten patch of form at the moment, and it'd be interesting to see if he pulls it out against Southampton.
That's why the captaincy is not definitely on him, asking for trouble, but I think Mane was just as bad last against Spurs. So, and Mane's form away isn't great. So.
No, I was going to say I think he's only returned 3 times in his last 10 away games. Mane, I actually think Saints are. I mean, you sound like you think it's a clear win for Liverpool. I think it's going to be quite a difficult game for them. I think it's since game week 22, so about 10 game weeks ago. I think Southampton are 5th in terms of the whole Premier League in terms of the form chart. And they've actually had 3 wins in the last 4, and their last home win was against Spurs. And we've seen that they've put in some big performances against the top sides. Remember they beat Arsenal at home and they drew with Chelsea away. So I don't think by any stretch it's going to be an easy game for Liverpool.
Just think Liverpool are a step above like Spurs and Arsenal, and obviously they're just a brick wall, and so I just can't see them scoring at least. So you should probably be good with the double defense. So I think maybe it could be tight, maybe a 1-0, but I'd hope it's like a 2-3 because obviously Liverpool need to win. Every game counts at this point for them. So
you don't think anything about Prowse, Redmond? They're not going to spring any surprises. Prowse is in great form at the moment.
Not for this game, personally. I think definitely looking at them for wildcard and 34 and what else, but if they continue their form, but not in this one for me.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think I'm using this game as a sort of an eye test for all the Southampton players ahead of the double, just to see who looks like they deserve a place. And
you got cheeky Højbjerg in there hoping for something.
Yeah, he's sort of my midfield budget enabler, and he has been all season. And he actually got the goal, didn't he, against Brighton last game week, and he was sat on my bench.
You thought he was going to come in as well. I was excited for a second.
I was excited. 11 points, that would have been a massive differential. But got to plan this week to get the points out. Cool. Well, I think it's actually going to be quite a close game. I think Liverpool may, like you say, maybe a 1-0. I could even be a 1-1. Liverpool have been in scrappy situations the last 2 games. That game against Fulham, where they took until the last 5 minutes to pull out the victory, that was away from home. And even against Spurs, like it was a close call. Van Dijk with that epic sort of defensive moment, 2v1, and it just took an own goal to win it for them. So
they're finding a way though.
They are finding a way.
I just suspect this is shackles off a little bit in this game. Just let it go for it. But maybe you're right. It could go either way.
We'll see. Okay, so Bournemouth against Burnley is 3:00 on Saturday. I think Bournemouth, they're sort of like my second Premier League team, just because of the location factor, and I like Bournemouth. But they're doing really, really poor recently. I had a look at the table just to see how far they've slipped, and they're only 5 points above 17th, which is the position before the drop zone. I mean, to think of how well they were doing in the first part of the season, for them to have sort of fallen from grace that high was a bit of a surprise to me. So
they were like 6th at one point or something.
Doing really well, and now it's. I mean, the bottom of the table, to be fair, is quite compacted, but that's low. It's low.
Well, they're only this win away from getting over the 40 mark, so which would mean they're pretty much cut and dry, home and dry. So I expect they're going to try and win this, so that they can just stop looking over their shoulders.
Yeah.
Um,
And go and
I
relax
think
on
this is a
Bournemouth
tough
Beach.
game though for them because Burnley obviously picked up that win, but they're still obviously in relegation danger. And if they could, Burnley's fixtures after this are pretty tough.
Yep.
After Bournemouth, so they'll be targeting this one for sure. I think Dyche will definitely want to win this one, and away at Bournemouth doesn't seem like too hard of a one to try and win, does it? Like, Bournemouth concede goals, so yeah, if you've got someone like what's it called, Barnes, Wood, Goodmanson, someone like, or even McNeil, who's doing really well at the moment, then you should be quietly confident here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of a goal fest actually, because I think the stats are saying that Bournemouth are 9 goals conceded in Burnley's last 5 away games, so that's nearly 2 a game, and I think in terms of Burnley scoring goals as well, they've only failed to score twice in the last 9, and one of those games was against City, so it shows that Burnley is sort of operating well in an attacking sense and defending poorly, and you and I both know that Bournemouth can really can put sort of trailblazer on a team like they did against Chelsea a couple of weeks ago.
I even think talking about Burnley, I think McNeil could be a cheap just 4th mid if you want to go for an expensive
Oh, Kieran, he's got a big cough at the moment. Sorry, everyone. There we go.
Yeah, sorry.
Back.
Yeah, so I think McNeil could be worth getting on your wild card as like a 4th mid. If you want to go for like a expensive front 3 or something, I think he could be worth going for on the wild card or free hit or something like that. He's churning over points at the moment, and he seems to nail down his place. So yeah, why not with him? Their fixtures are obviously tougher the next 2, but from 36, I think is really quite good.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're fighting for their survival. So yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I do too. I like it when sort of like a young player comes into a first team and makes a real impact, sort of like how Brooks has done at the start of this season. So yeah, it's a similar type of player, and both doing quite well at the moment. Do you fancy point returns for Brooks and Fraser in this one? Obviously, you have both. It seems like Bournemouth have scored 7 goals in the last 3 home games, so it looks like there are goals on the cards here.
I'm going to say I hope so. I think Fraser was pretty involved in the Leicester game. He was kind of unlucky not to get some points. So yeah, I think so. I just got to hope that it's these 2 that get some points and not just King and just Wilson. Yeah. Fingers crossed they get involved in somehow. But, I mean, Fraser to Wilson sounds pretty good to me, and hopefully Wilson can give it back to him like they do very often. So
they do. You and I both have got Borok, and he was dropped, wasn't he, last game week? I've got Gaita on the bench who can sort of come in for him. You haven't got anyone at the moment. I'm sure there's a lot of people in our situation, really. Who do you think alternate options to Borok if he's sort of not coming in or not going to play this weekend?
I think for this week, if you've got money in the bank and looking further on as well, if you've not got a wild card or whatever, then Kepa seems quite good. West Ham this week is pretty good fixture for them at home. West Ham awful at the moment, so yeah, Kepa could be good. Other than that, it's pretty difficult actually picking a keeper. I've looked at a few, and I think maybe Schmeichel, but double up on Leicester defence, not great.
Right.
But for this weekend, if you don't have one of them, Schmeichel looks okay. Leno maybe. It's tough, especially for game week 33. I don't think there's many at all, really.
No, it's a tricky one. I was going to suggest that
Guaita.
Guaita, not a bad shout really. I think he's a good option at 4-2, but it's trying to find that keeper that's going to play this week and potentially the following ones. I actually think if you a little bit of extra cash, Leno isn't a bad shout. I mean, Arsenal have got some really good fixtures, and they've got the double, of course, in 35. So they're going to be. I think they're going to tighten up. I mean, we'll get onto Arsenal a bit later, but they're going to tighten up between now and the end of the season in this run in for top 4. And we saw them pull out a clean sheet at home against Newcastle on Monday. So, I think Leno's not a bad option there. Do you want to predict a winner in this one before we move on? Because I think it's going to be an exciting game. I could see goals.
I'm going to say 2-2. Fraser gets 2.
Okay.
And then McNeil again.
Yeah.
And a Woods one this time.
Okay. I'm actually a little bit worried about about Bournemouth here, because I think Burnley have got more incentive to get themselves out of trouble. Because I think with Bournemouth's poor form, Burnley will see this as sort of a really good chance to go at them and score some goals. So I'm sadly going to predict a very unusual for me Burnley win. I think it'd be 2-1. I think it'd be a good game this though.
I can see them scoring, but I think Bournemouth have too much personally.
I hope so. I hope they get out of trouble, but that's the glass half empty in me. All right, so glass half full of me is thinking Vardy's going to score 5 goals against Huddersfield Saturday afternoon against Huddersfield. What do you think about this one? You've got Chilwell.
Can we talk about the prediction that I made last week of him of me taking them out on my free hit and saying, they're going to troll me, keep clean sheets, and Vardy will score. What happened?
It did exactly that, Kieran. Did exactly that.
So, Vardy's back in this week. Obviously, he's going to score 5 goals, right? I mean, obviously not. He's now going to troll me again and get 0. I'm expecting Huddersfield to win this 4-0.
I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be another good game. I think you've got to be confident in Vardy.
Vardy's my nemesis, man. My FPL nemesis. He never does well for me. Even in the best fixture you could possibly have right now.
Well,
apart from maybe at home,
get rid of him then, just so the rest of us can enjoy him?
No, I have to spoil it for everyone. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, anyway, his form's great. His six goal involvements in his last 6 now, and you were on the unlucky end of sort of missing the.
Chilwell got 9 as well. The 3 bonus.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I know Pereira got the 2, and neither of them had any goal involvement, did they? That's quite impressive. Well, there you go. Yeah. That's even worse. I didn't even notice that. Blimey. But yeah, Vardy's in form, and he's a strong consideration for me for captaincy at the moment. So you can see I've got the armband on him in my team at the moment. He's not the sort of striker that has tons and tons of shots in the box, but he's really efficient. So we saw that again against Bournemouth. I think he had maybe 4 touches in the box, and 3 of them were shots. So as soon as he's getting the ball in the box, he's shooting, and he's looking good at the moment. And I do fancy him.
I don't really think you have a choice with that team. Who else could you pick?
Sterling is going to go out for either Hazard or Mane.
Okay.
So there would be a secondary option there, but
sure.
Yeah. So I'm sort of excited about Vardy. He seems like a bit of a sneaky differential because people like to be picking Liverpool or Chelsea assets at the moment. Should we talk about some of their other differentials? Tielemans, you're a fan?
Yeah, I like him. Looks good. Decent pick. I think he's pretty low owned still. So
he is 1.4%, and
he's in decent form as well. So I think he's differential compared to Maddison because most people will probably go towards Maddison at 6.8% owned.
Yeah.
So big 5% difference there, and he gets just as far forward. But Maddison is obviously a bit more creative. Creating loads of chances at the moment. His stats are really, really good. It's tough to pick between them. But if you want to go differential when you're chasing, then Tielemans looks like a good option.
Yeah, I think Maddison creates those more chances because he's on all the free kicks and the corners, and that obviously boosts it up. Seems like Tielemans is the sort of player that's creating all these chances in open play. I was actually looking into how his game was against Bournemouth at home, and he only had 1 fewer penalty area touch than Vardy. So he's getting in the. I mean, that was only 3, but I mean, it shows that he's getting in the box. I think he was the second most touches in the box for any Leicester player in that game. So I think Brennan's looks like he's getting him to sort of make those forward runs and then play those balls in behind for Vardy. And the fact that he's got 5 returns in 4of those assists, I think he's really, he's sort of adapted quite quick, isn't he? Considering he only arrived in January.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. I think I was leaning towards Maddison, but you might be changing my mind. But then I'm not sure I want to go triple Leicester. I think it seems like a bit risky, seems like a bit of a trap to go triple it. I don't think they're good enough to score enough for them to just be in your team.
Fair enough. Yeah, I see what you mean there. So you don't expect them to score more than 2, let's say?
No, not really. If they were going to haul, if they were going to go 3-4-0, something like that, then you could probably be wanting to get 3 triple Leicester. But I think Chilwell, Vardy, Pereira, probably enough for my squad. I if you do get them, then they'll probably do well. I think they've got the potential there, considering how bad Huddersfield have been. So they've conceded an average of 2 goals in the last 8 games.
They're down now. We were talking about this just off air before we came on and saying, well, are Huddersfield going to go for it because they're down now and they're liberated? I mean, they're still as poor as they were last week, which has been really poor all season. So surely if they go for it being poor, they're going to leave more space for Leicester to attack on the break. And I don't know. It seems like Leicester are actually playing for something, i.e. to try and finish as high as possible, and Huddersfield are like, we'll come and have a little kick around for a bit, but don't beat us by 7.
Oof, well, okay, then maybe they could haul. Maybe I should go 3. Yeah, you're convincing me slightly.
Cool. That's exactly what I'm intending to do here. Nah, but I'm likely going to captain Vardy, and I may even bring in Tielemans, but we'll see. We will see. Cool.
For Anderson, I assume.
If he's ruled out, I think so.
Fair.
But I think he's meant to be fit. I've still got Felipe Anderson. Everyone, yes, I know. Okay, he got me assist against Huddersfield. Cool. All right, Newcastle. Do you know who they're playing?
Crystal Palace.
Exactly. They're playing Crystal Palace, and they're playing at 3:00 on Saturday. You had Milivojevic in your squad for the double. You also had Jeffrey Schlupp, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you were spoilt for Palace choice. Any of those sort of guys potential making their way back in your team? You were talking about your defence and not being so keen on it earlier. Is there an option? I mean, Schlupp played left wing, didn't he, against Spurs?
He played front 3.
Yeah.
I was loving that. But I would like Schlupp for sure. But I don't really see a way in for my defence, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Lascelles at home has just as good a chance than getting Schlupp in.
Yeah.
And then obviously Robertson fine, Chilwell's fine, Digne, he's doing well at the moment, so can't really see a reason to get rid of him. So I probably won't be going towards Schlupp, but definitely be looking at him for wildcard because out of position defender, what's not to like really, and Palace are pretty strong at the back at least. Obviously Sacco being out, Dan has come in. Obviously Kelly played last against Tottenham, not sure why, but Dan has been pretty good when he came in, so he's a solid replacement. But not Schlupp for me, but I can see why people would go there for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously Van Arnold did well in this week, didn't he? In the double, getting a goal, and he usually finishes the season well. So PVA is someone to look at, but he is quite expensive still. 5.4 I think he is now. I had him at the start. Had him at the start of the season. Did well for me for a bit, and then was just stinking it up, being too expensive in the end. So had to get rid.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? I mean, if he'd lived up to his sort of pre-season tweets that he was going to be like a great FPL pick, it would have been great.
Can do bits. Yeah.
Do bits, yeah. He did tweet the other day, didn't he? Maybe on Saturday night, saying one for the FPL gang with the goal. I was like, nice.
Yep.
I was just impressed with Milivojevic. I think if you're looking to free hit this weekend, I think he's a really good, a solid Palace pick now. So he's up to 138 points for the season, which is more than players like Eriksen, David Silva, and he's now got 2 goals in his last 3. Admittedly, he's sort of relying on penalties more than most in that Palace team. But when you've got Zaha, Townsend coming in from the sides, and even Batshuayi now, he's a sort of player that likes to get the ball into his feet and turn people in the box. If he's getting clipped or brought down, really seems to be pretty lethal, doesn't he, from the spot?
Yeah, just to get a penalty in the double was wonderful. Yeah. Loved it.
Perfect.
Nice 11 points in the double. That's decent for a 6.3 million mid. I'll take it.
And actually, talking of penalty area touches, and Zaha having a lot of them, he's actually had more than Aguero this season, which I couldn't believe. So if he's getting the ball in the box and he's getting a little tippy tap on the ankle, then Millie could be good.
Yeah, like Zaha's chances here. I like him on the break, on the counter, Batshuayi as well. I think there could be goals in this game. Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah, I think it could be quite an exciting game, this one. I think Rondon still looks like the main pick on the Newcastle side. I think I was having a look at Almiri. I mean, I know it was against Arsenal and he's new to the league, but I was having a look at his touch map and he just didn't really seem to be involved. But going back to Rondon, he's just looking lethal at home. So over his last 4 home games, he's averaged 8.25 points. So, I mean, you'd take that, wouldn't you? 8 points.
Of course.
Woo.
Yeah.
That could be good.
Higuain stinking it up over there.
Exactly.
Rondon could be there.
He could be there. And he's still owned by less than 10%. So I think he's down on 8 point something, maybe 8.1 on 8.2. And he's only 5'9", Kieran. So I think he's a tasty treat there.
Certainly is. Yep. I'm interested. Okay. I'm intrigued.
And I think Palace have got the defensive woes on the road to sort of even warrant it as well. I think they've conceded 2 in their last 5, I think, on average.
Yep.
So, it's pretty poor. I mean, that is boosted by the fact they conceded 4 against Liverpool, but even still, it's not exactly as sure as they are at home, let's say. Cool. All right. Any more you want to add in that one?
Yes. Sorry, coughing again.
Oh, it's all right. Any more you want to add to that game?
No, not really.
No.
Yeah, move on.
Okay. Everton, Arsenal. You've just talked about Digne. And it's Everton's clean sheets, aren't that surprising people at the moment because they're on a great run.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 and 5.
I've benefited from a few of them, but obviously took him out for the free hit and missed out on his points again. But never mind. Hopefully, he can come Arsenal at home this week.
Yeah.
He could come back in and do well. I hope.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Arsenal are pretty woeful away from home. So with Everton on form, don't see why he can't get a clean sheet. Don't see why he couldn't get an attack in return. Everton looking good at the moment. So Digne to do well this week.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? Because I think
it
was a game away against Newcastle where they fluffed it up, didn't they? When they came, they had a 2-0 lead.
2-0 up.
Yeah, and they blew it. And I think since then they've got 4 clean sheets in 5. And I think it's Pickford that's been sort of the main point recipient at the back because of all these save points. So I think he's averaging 7 points a game across his last 5. Do you think he'll actually start though? Because I mean, we're hearing all this sort of like gossip that he's been videoed in some fight in Sunderland. Did you see this?
Oh yeah.
So I wonder if when a player sort of gets into an altercation or there's something sort of surrounding them in their personal life, they do sometimes get rested depending on the severity of it.
Yeah.
So it looks like Stecklenburg would sort of come in if that was the case. I bet it's a hard one to call that, isn't it, really, depending on what the club do.
Yeah, I mean, we might hear something in the press conference,
Yeah.
but we really can't speculate on that, to be honest. I think Stecklenburg is a decent enough keeper, so if he does come in, I don't think that hampers Digne at all. Not sure.
I've actually been quite impressed with Michael Keane. I think he's sort of part of the reason why they've been doing so well recently.
Mm-hmm.
I think he played quite well for England, and he's looked good for Everton. So I think he's sort of been the main reason in their turnaround, really, him picking up some form.
Well, Sigurdsson as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's quietly become the 6th highest scoring mid in the game. And a lot of people haven't owned him the whole season. I haven't. I don't think you have.
Nope, never owned him.
And he's 6.9%. And, that's a tragic ownership considering he's the 6th highest scoring mid. Like, what the hell? Well, what have we been doing?
I know.
Why have we been sleeping on him? It doesn't really make sense, does it?
It's strange. In previous seasons, he's done it as well, hasn't he? We've seen him do it at Swansea when he was at Spurs for a couple of seasons. He's been a consistent FPL player, and I'm irritated because I do like him. I think from next season, if he's got a good price point, he's even a good start. I mean, looking ahead already, but I think he's proved he's better than Richarlison.
If he's like 7 mil, I think that would be about right for him.
Yeah, definitely.
Then I like that. But he's still not in my thoughts. Like, I like him and he's scoring well, but he still is someone I'm not looking to bring in. I wish I could if I didn't have other things and other people to bring in.
After this Arsenal game in game week 34, when we're both playing our wild cards, he actually has a away game against Fulham. So if you were pretty set up on your wild card and you fancied a really cheeky punt, Sigurdsson away at Fulham could be a really good option there. Anyway.
Or Calvert-Lewin, maybe.
Calvert-Lewin. I was just about to say, Kieran, we're in sync again. Yeah, what do you like? Because we had him last season, didn't we? When he wasn't quite a first 11 player.
Yeah.
Whereas this season, and more recently, let's say.
Yeah, on form. Decent differential at the moment. I had him as one of my Cougar Cup picks against Chelsea, I think.
You did, yeah.
2 weeks ago, I think it was. You got an assist in that game. So, it's okay fixture for them. Arsenal are pretty bad at the back, so I think he could do well here. Him, Siggy, Digne. I think there's points to be had. I think Arsenal could possibly get points as well, for sure.
Yeah.
Everton aren't that great at defence, but obviously their form is good at the moment. I like Calvert-Lewin. Even Bernard was good in the last game. So, but I wouldn't say he's nailed on. Probably not an option.
No.
But
I was thinking his first goal all season as well, that one against West Ham.
Yeah, goal and assist, wasn't it?
I think it might have been, yeah. But Calvert-Lewin's looking good. So he started the last 5 and 3 goal involvements for a sort of a budget striker, I'd say. But it's just trying to find that space in your team, isn't it? Really. But maybe for a 1 week, it may be good. I was going to sort of say about how impressive Arsenal have been recently. I mean, they haven't actually had a Premier League away game since the beginning of March when they drew 1-1 at Spurs, a game they could have won, really. But since then, they've sort of been racking up the wins in Europa League and at home. Do you think they're going to get into this top 4? They've got some good fixtures until the end of the season and a good double in 35.
I think I read that something was like 5 of their 9 games are away or something like that.
Yeah.
Of the rest of the games. So,
4,
yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say 4 of their next 5 are against Everton, Watford, Wolves and Leicester away. So they are quite tricky games.
Yeah, they are. The rest of their fixtures are good after that. But, yeah, their away form has been that bad that I'm not sure. I mean, to start with, I was looking at a Lacazette like side grade from Higuain.
Yeah.
But I think that kind of seems a bit strange because I'm not even sure if Lacazette would start because Aubameyang got rested this week for apparently no reason. I don't know why.
No, I didn't see anything other tactical.
Yeah, that just seems weird because Lacazette or Aubameyang, who starts in Europa, like, so this week it would just be a lottery, right? You'd imagine that Aubameyang starts this weekend and Laka gets rested.
I feel like Laka's in such good form at the moment. I don't think he'd drop him. No
Would
way.
he start both of them? Like Aubameyang's been rested for like,
Yeah.
is he going to rest him for 2 weeks in a row before Europa? That just seems weird. Like,
Yeah.
why?
I don't know. I was reading some Arsenal fan tweets earlier actually, and it seems like even they can't predict sort of Emery's lineup. So, Lord help us if we tried to as well. But I like Lacazette a lot, and he's probably like a 90% pick now for my wild card. So I don't know why we've sort of been overlooking him for so long. Because like another one like Sigurdsson, he's less than 10% owned. He's 9.3, which is probably why he's a little bit overlooked when you've got players like Jimenez providing. But he's only blanked in 3 of the last 15 games he's started in. Now compared to Aguero's blanked in 4 of the last 15. I mean, granted he hasn't got like any major hauls like Aguero, but the stats have been there and the consistency's been there, which is what you want from an FPL pick. But yeah, he's just gone under the radar.
Yeah, barely any hauls, isn't it? It's just been like assists or a goal or just,
But it's that consistency is what you need.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree. I've got written down here he's not blanked in his last 6 games. So, yeah, like you were saying.
I mean,
I just think this week for me, in terms of my team, if I'm going Higuain to him, it just seems like, I'm not sure. I don't know if he'll start. It just seems a bit risky.
I get that. If it was me on a free hit this week, or I had a luxury transfer to spend, Laka and Rondon will be typically top of my striker choices this week because they're just Vardy be up there as well. Yeah. So there's 3. So if you're playing a free hit and you want a couple of differentials, which I think Lacazette and Rondon are because they're both owned by less than 10%, then
even Vardy's low owned still. So that's a front 3 of good
players with good fixtures, and I think you got a good chance there. I think Kolasinac has sort of proven he's a pretty much a guaranteed starter now, would you say, for Arsenal in the league? He's averaging over 5 points per game in the last 4, and he's got 2 assists in 6 now. You had him for a bit, didn't you? And you got rid of him a while back, but is he going to be coming back in, do you think, in the next couple of game weeks? He's got, like we said, we've got these good fixtures, or are you just a bit worried about their away form?
Yeah, just the away form, I think. I'll definitely look at him because I think he was very unlucky not to haul in that Newcastle game, wasn't it? He was denied 2 quite clear assists. Mm-hmm. So I definitely like him. I have homed him, as you said, and it seems proper attacking, wing back, like it. What's not to like? Arsenal can keep clean sheets, but with that away form in the next 4, I think you said 4, wasn't it?
Yeah, 4 of the next 5 are away. Yeah,
it's something to consider. Basically, you just have to take it with a grain of salt whether you want to risk it with him. You're really looking for attacking returns from him, which is obviously not that common, but his average points is pretty decent. So, I don't know. I like him. I probably will gamble on him on the wild card. Okay. That's my thoughts.
All right, cool. Should we move on to the last game of the game week? Chelsea against West Ham on the Monday night. Hazard, the mercurial Troll, I even feel bad about saying it sometimes because when he puts in a haul, everyone's like, yeah, but look how well he's doing. But yeah, that's a goal and assist against Brighton last evening. That's 4 goal involvements in his last 5 now. He just likes bullying the lesser teams, doesn't he? And I think West Ham are on the beach. I think it could be a bit of a bloodbath.
Yeah, I think good. That's why I'm looking at considering Higuain out to get Hazard in.
Mm-hmm.
But that seems kind of sideways as well because Higuain could start. I think he probably will start because Giroud will probably get rested for Europa.
They play worse when Higuain's in the team.
100% they do.
Hazard's stats with Giroud in the team are so much better. So much. He has more chances, more big chances, creates more chances. Higuain's look how well he played when Chelsea had Costa in the team. Hazard was like the main man and they won leagues. As soon as since they've lost Costa and lost a good centre forward, yeah, Hazard's been upset and wants to leave. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're right. I think you can tell that Sarri just what his beliefs are for rest. He just seems to want to rest Giroud all the time, and just won't play him when he's got a Europa around the corner. Yeah. So, it seems like Higuain will probably play, but I imagine Higuain will do absolutely nothing, right?
Well, yeah. I'm not convinced on Higuain at all now. Played against Cardiff. Didn't do well. Didn't even get the chance to play against Brighton. He just seems like way out of the picture to me now. Wouldn't even consider him. He's expensive too. You've not unmuted your mic.
Sorry. Yeah, that's what we thought. We thought that he was going to be a flat track bully against like the bad teams, right? Yeah. Higuain. And we thought he'd do well against Brighton and Cardiff, wasn't it? Yeah. And he just, was terrible against Cardiff. Had basically no chances. I don't know if he even had a shot. Yeah. And he just looks so poor that I think I've got to get rid of him, right? But, I mean, I was worried about not having him on the free hit because he had such good fixtures. Mm-hmm. And, I got rid of him then and I wasn't punished. Maybe I should get rid of him now because I probably won't be punished either because he just looks that bad.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. Isn't it a tricky one?
Whereas Hazard could stroll as well. So
yeah, well, that's the thing that Hazard has got prior to sort of not performing in games where you think he's going to demolish in, like the game against Brighton. Brighton have sort of were focusing, weren't they, on the FA Cup this weekend, and Hazard ran riot a little bit in that second half.
Well, he left it late, didn't he?
He did leave it late.
I thought he was going to troll again in these 2 games.
Yeah, but West Ham are abysmal at the moment. So that game against Everton, they managed 1 shot on target. So I think if you're looking at defenders this week on a free hit, it may even be worth the double up on Chelsea. We've seen, it sounds like Alonso picked up a small injury, so Emerson might even be a decent differential. But I think Azpilicueta was taken off early last night, so you'd imagine he'd play a full 90. They've got Europa as well, haven't they? Though on the Thursday, is that right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So that's quite a quick turnaround, isn't it, between the Monday and the Thursday? So, fairly. I mean, it makes me think that if they've got the game in the bag against West Ham, they might start resting a few players. So,
well, I imagine Rudiger will probably start because he was rested. That's why I'm looking at Kepa as well because I think there's probably a clean sheet here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Hard to look past, really.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, should we move on to our preview in terms of our Cougar Cup picks? And then just have a quick chit-chat about captaincy and our transfers before we say cheerio. Cougar Cup pick for this game week, Kieran. Let's be having you.
Oh, I've got one that's like super, super risky.
How many points behind are you?
13 at the moment. But that's what I need, a risky one to... Well, actually, no, I don't. I just need one to get points.
You need to get points, yeah.
Okay, I'll go Zaha again.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. That's what I'd written down, but I got a good backup. It's in that same game for the opposing team. And he plays up front. It's Rondon.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. All right.
Fair play.
Zaha against Rondon.
See, do you want to hear my risky one?
The battle at St James's Park. Yeah, go on.
It was Mkhitaryan.
God blimey, that is a risky. I
just think he's due to start.
Yeah.
Right.
Due to start. Yeah.
Because he'll probably rest a few players for Europa, right?
Yeah.
So I think Mickey will come in because he didn't play the last game, and I think there's a few goals in him. Yeah. He looks good when he comes on at the moment. He does. Yeah, Mickey.
Who else would be in your risky pick 5-a-side for this game week? Higuain up front. Boruc in goal. Who else would you have? That's quite a good...
Mickey, clearly.
Yeah, Mickey, Higuain, Boruc. Who else is
Calvert-Lewin.
maybe... Yeah. Oh, there's lots to choose from.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, captaincy. So you've got it on Salah at the moment. I've got it on Vardy. I'm really tempted to bring in Hazard or Mane, but maybe still give them the... maybe give them the captaincy. Thing is, I'm just not that... Salah and Mane, we've been talking about this for weeks now, haven't we? Salah's got the underlying stats. Mane's actually putting the ball in the back of the net.
Mm-hmm.
But surely sometimes Salah's underlying stats and relentless shooting is going to come off and one's going to go in.
Absolutely.
Maybe
that's my thoughts.
Maybe it'll be this week. But yeah, got 1 goal in 9. It's just so out of form, and he looked trying too hard, and all that sort of thing.
It's the law of averages. They, like you said, they have to start going in eventually, and this Southampton one, to me, feels like it could be it. Mane has not scored against Southampton, his old club, in 4 of the last 4, so
right.
That might be a thing as well.
And I quite like this, quite liked it when I read that he'd only only returned in 3 of his last 10, because I'm thinking if I don't get him in, maybe that's not much for me to worry about. But I'm thinking of just foregoing both Salah and Mane and just getting Hazard in instead. Oh, is it really...
And captaining him?
No, I don't think I'd captain him over Vardy just because he's too unpredictable.
Yeah,
too unpredictable. Who else is there for options?
If they score, it'd be poor because that's all your Liverpool cover.
I know. Well, all my Robertson and Arnold would have to put in a shift. But I mean, Hazard is looking good. So if we look at the base stats rather than... I look at him with the eye test too much and think he's just hanging out on the edge of the box. He's now got 14 goals and 12 assists for the season, and only which is obviously 26 in total, which only trails Sterling, who's got 27, and Salah, has got 28 among midfielders. And Chelsea have created a chance every 5 minutes. So, and against West Ham, I think it's going to be sort of around that sort of area. And I just think he could do something, but it took...
Is he on the beach though?
Yeah, is it? Yeah. I don't know. I think West Ham are definitely on the beach, and they're conceding for fun, and they're just not having a good time. But which Chelsea is going to turn up? We've seen them.
I suppose Chelsea need to fight for the top 4, don't they? And they're in prime position above United now. So it feels like a game they need to win, isn't it? So. Yeah.
West Ham have only got 1 clean sheet in 10 as well. And the great thing about Hazard from a captaincy point of view is, unlike Salah, if Hazard scores, he's going to get bonus because of his just general play. He's going to pick up those bonus points. He got 3, didn't he, against Brighton? So, yeah, Hazard is a strong option, but I just quite like Vardy as my little bit of a flair pick.
Yeah, well, I think Hazard will be one of my transfers in, I think. I think Higuain's going to go, and I think Pogba will probably go as well, because we've discussed Pogba being pretty poor, pretty woeful at the moment. I don't know what's going on with him. So, yeah, Hazard possibly, and then not sure who the striker will be yet. Any suggestions?
Hard to call. Well, I like Rondon. Like we said tonight, I like Rondon, and I like Lacazette. And even though you doubt Arsenal's away form, I think they've got to win that game. They're going for the top 4. He's been so involved. The stats don't lie, Keek. He's only blanked 3 times in the last 15.
True.
Seems good to me.
Yeah, so if I do that, I'll be... Boruc probably won't play, so I'll probably be going... 10 man. 10 man. So,
okay, that's not the end of the world.
Plus a hit, which seems a bit annoying and a bit shit. But
all right, so
we'll see.
So to round out then, the captaincy, in your mind, is going to go on Salah, and it's going to stay on there by the sound of it.
For now, yeah. I don't know about stay on, but it's Salah for now.
Cool. Well, I'm Vardy for now. Be interested to hear who everyone is picking, who's watching this. So yeah, if you want to drop us a comment below and let us know. And which players you've got to pick from. That'd be quite interesting, because I think it's going to be quite a split sort of a split pick this week, if you like. Should be quite interesting. All right, my transfer. I'll just go over my transfers very briefly. Sterling I brought in for the price he currently is in the market, so I'm probably going to get rid of him and not lose any money. And it will either be Mane or Hazard. And if I'm feeling a bit saucy, there's Felipe Anderson, and Felipe's injured. Felipe Anderson's probably going to go for Tielemans, possibly Maddison, and I think that'll be it. I've got to think about. I'd like to get another striker, and I'd like to get Lacazette or Rondon in, but I've got to think about my wild card next week. And I don't want to lose money on Aguero and Jimenez for 1 week. It's a bit of a shame, but it's the way it goes.
Yep.
Cool. All right. I think we've done everything, haven't we?
I think so.
We ticked all the boxes.
Pretty much, yeah. Nice.
That's unlike us, isn't it? We usually forget something. All right. Should we wrap it up and just say thank you to everyone for joining us? We'll be back next week to preview game week 34. We're also going to start talking about our wildcards. That'll be quite exciting, won't it?
Yeah.
Have you already done yours?
Yeah.
You must have done a draft.
I haven't even looked.
Oh, man.
honestly.
I've done 2 drafts and they are looking sweet. They're
Okay,
looking
good.
really sweet. So
You'll have to share them with me.
yeah, a preview. Oh, I'll tell you what we nearly forgot. You were going to say how many more points your free hit team got than your other team.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I worked this out earlier. So my
Shall I go back to
non-free
it?
hit team,
There we go.
my non-free hit team would have been 52 points,
Ooh.
and I got 39. So that's a net game of 39 points.
Hey, that's pretty good.
So yeah, I think that's a pretty decent use of free hit, even though it looks like in comparison to the rest of the scores, pretty poor. But considering my normal team, yeah, that's decent.
Hey, yeah, that's really good. Yeah, nice.
Because yours was about that.
Yeah, I think it
that many
was.
points,
It might
right?
have even been 39. It might have been 39
wow,
or
okay.
49. I know it was something ending in 9, and it was less than 50.
It can't have been 49. That would have been
49 does
huge.
seem too high, doesn't it? I'll have to go back and check. I'll say next week, but yeah, it might have been 39 as well.
Yeah.
39 is a funny number for Kieran and I.
Well, yeah, we like that number.
We do like that number. Anyway, that's very good. Cool. All right. Well, if you guys have got any questions beyond me wanting to know about your captaincy, just put them in the video comments below, or tweet us at FPL Cougars. Like I say, we're back next week. We're also on Spotify and Apple, so you can find us there. Just search FPL Cougars. So I think until next week, it's goodbye from me.
Cheers and good luck.
Cheers then, everyone.